Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so it was a few things that I paid attention to. As a Laker talking head, it had to be a reason I hadn't mentioned anything about our prospects yet that we picked up in the undrafted market, because y'all know it's one of my favorite things to do is immediately look at what we've done and then try to watch homework on those guys. And so I hadn't had a chance to do that. That's why I didn't mention any of these people. I had not had a chance to really get familiar with all of them. And to be honest with you, I've only done extensive homework on one guy. Of course, I already knew who Abdul Thiro was. I presented to you guys conversations about him leading up to the draft. I didn't even know he could be a Laker. He was already somebody I was talking a lot about. So I didn't really need to do too much homework on Abdul, but I will do more just off the strength of wanting to get to know of him a bit more so. But yeah, we picked up actually it's like 6 guys. I'm only certain of maybe 2 of them as it pertains to what I think of those players. So as far as names are concerned, a few of these guys' names are not coming to mind right now. I know we picked up Angel Reese's little brother. He's going to be on our summer league team. I'm not sure what he can do. Didn't see any homework on him yet. Of course, Abdul Thiro, as you already know, a gentleman by the name of Dixon, last name Dixon, Eric maybe. I'm not really sure what his first name is. That's how little homework I've done on him right now. And there's a few other guys as well. But the problem is I don't know of all of them. I still have a lot of homework to do. I only did extensive homework on one guy, and that was Augustas Marciulionis. I went down the Augustas Marciulionis rabbit hole because I remembered that last name from somewhere. I was like, I look at all these dudes and I'm like, Marciulionis. I remember that name. Like, Marciulionis is a name I know. I wonder if he's related to who used to play with the Golden State Warriors. And it turns out that's his son, Sarunas Marciulionis. He played before my time, but I had his basketball card. It was one of those situations where right before I started really becoming an NBA fan, I came into a bunch of NBA cards. I don't remember how I got it. I honestly don't remember, but somebody left me one of those full boxes of card packages. Someone bought me, or we found at a yard sale. I don't remember, it's so long ago. This had to be like 1992. But I was able to come up on like 400 cards, like literally 400 basketball cards from the early 90s, yo. And as it would be, because you have so many of them, you were able to get stars, you were able to get role players and this and that. And Sarunas Marciulionis was one of the cards. I had multiple Sarunas Marciulionis cards. I had one with Golden State, I had one with Sacramento, and around that same time I started playing NBA Jam, so it was like my NBA love was just getting started, and I remembered his name from that era. I didn't necessarily see him play, but that name and that card was everywhere. I had at least 6 Sarunas Marciulionis cards. So I look up, I'm like, where do I remember this dude from? And I did the homework, and it turns out we picked up his son. And so I decided to watch highlights on him, and they had a 56-minute film session on him. And I watched the whole thing. Last night, I sat down and watched 56 minutes of Augustas Marciulionis. I kid you not, that's how much of a basketball head your boy actually is. And I loved every second of it. That's the crazy thing about it. I thought that, I just turned on the highlights, probably watch about 10 minutes of it, and just not finish it. But as it kept going, this dude's highlights were fun to watch. He's fun to watch. And what was intriguing about him also was that he was on a St. Mary's, California team that didn't lose very much. And they played a very unique team style of ball that I like to watch, which is a bunch of passing. They use one another they play off one another more so than what your average college team does. It's all about passing and being careful and making sure that you look for the right shot, even if it takes 8-9 passes to do so. And a lot of the times, and I don't know how, it's hard to tell, but a lot of the times he was the one finishing plays. Now, granted, it was his highlights, so maybe that was why you always saw him finishing plays, right? But he seemed to be the star of a winning collegiate team, a team whose record was always phenomenal. I mean, lost like 4 or 5 games. And so, like, this is a winner who's coming out of a team basketball setting, who has a lot of energy to his game. Now, I didn't see any defensive highlights. That's the part that I just don't know of. But in his bio, it said that he's a tenacious point of attack defender, feisty, 6'4", good length. And when I looked at his father, I looked up like a 2-minute highlight reel of his dad. His dad was hyper athletic and in great shape. That's what I noticed about his pops. This dude was yoked up, man. The type of shape that I want to see Luka get in was the type of shape Sarunas Marciulionis used to be in. This dude was yoked up at all times and played fast and put the ball behind his back, and he was a fun player to watch, and his son is a fun player to watch too. So I took 2 things away from watching 56 minutes of Augustas Marciulionis. That I'm comfortable with him having the ball in his hands. He's going to make good decisions. He's going to strike at the rim. He's going to, he doesn't have athleticism, dunk the ball and stuff like that. It's not his game, but layup packages, ambidextrous, left hand, right hand. He can make plays for others. He's a really good catch and shoot player, even though the 3-point shot percentage-wise doesn't tell you that he's some amazing 3-point shooter. The reality was he hit a hell of a lot of threes in the highlight reel. Hell of a lot of threes. So I don't know if the numbers aren't painting a picture that the eye test doesn't tell you. Augustas can shoot. And that's where they say his weakness is. I don't see no weakness there. He can really shoot. And so he's a fast player. They play at a very good pace. He finishes in the fast break very well. He appeared to have a pretty nice pull-up game off the dribble. He's even better off the catch, though. And so a point guard, very nice handle. His handle, just like his pops, they got that Euro thing going on where they can really, really dribble the ball. He's a above average ball handler. And so you can see crossover moves. He's low to the ground, crossover, quick steps and all this. I'm like, oh, this dude got footwork, ball handling, finishes. Didn't appear to be somebody you expect turn the ball over too much. So very good player. And in the event that you move toward getting a guy like this, what you hope is that he can run your second unit offense. He's not going to be on the floor with Luka very much. At 6'4", you want him backing Luka up. And he's a guy that can really do the job. His speed stood out. His aggressiveness stood out. He's feisty. Played great off the pick and roll. I'm a big fan of what I saw, man. I'm a big fan of what I saw. And we got him on the Exhibit 10. So the rope, as it pertains to how many mistakes he can make in order to make the team. You know, he has to play near perfect ball to make the team, which is unfortunate because it looks like we could use what he does. And so I'm hopeful that he has a fantastic summer league and shows all of us what it is I saw in them highlights. But the problem with the summer league, and what I learned last year about summer league, is sometimes summer league coaches do weird stuff, man. Last year we put the ball in the point guard's hands, didn't hardly put the ball in Bronny's hands. You know, Marciulionis needs the ball, and he needs to be able to run the offense. And I don't know if the coach that we're going to use is going to do that, if they're going to use him as a primary point guard. And so he's used to being able to not only catch and shoot and have people looking for him, but he's also used to being able to look for others and kind of control what goes on with tempo and stuff. So I walk away from that saying, yo, we found another one, man. Point blank period, that's a pro. Augustas Marciulionis is a pro. I'm telling y'all right now, he's going to be in the NBA. The question is he going to be a part of our situation? Or is it going to take some time, and will he have enough time to develop given the fact that our situation is as it is? But one thing I can say in looking at highlights of Augustas is I trust him. After watching an hour of him, I trust him. I can put the ball in his hands and expect good things to happen. very good things to happen. So I think our scouts did it again with this player. And I think he's the one of the dudes that are at least talked about. When you start talking about who we got in the undrafted market, you're talking about Dixon. You hear a lot of people talking about, of course, the fact that we picked up Reese. But at the end of the day, Augustus is who I did the homework on. And I'm excited about that dude. I'm very excited about that dude. I feel like the Lakers did a great job of getting ball handlers, scorers, guys that are 4-year or 5-year college guys. I think everybody we took was like a 4 or 5-year college guy. They all have tenacious defensive ability, even though only one of them is actual defender. The ability to be feisty and overachieve is in all of these players on the defensive end. And they got scorers, man. Scorers. Sarunas' son is a scorer. Dixon led the entire NCAA in scoring last year. And I have so much more homework to do on him, but he looks extremely promising, man. Dixon. Eric Dixon? I don't know if I got his name right. Ryan Dixon? I'm not sure. But the dude is like 256 pounds, 6'8". Ball handler. Scoring 3-level guy. When I think about Bryce Sensabaugh over there in Utah, I think about poor man's Derek Coleman type of guy. I think about somewhat of like Derek Queen, the type of thing that people are looking at in Derek Queen. This is a big dude who's going to be very difficult to push around. He's not athletic by any stretch of the imagination. He's not even really in great shape, which is something that he's going to have to work on. I would like to see him maybe lose 10 pounds or so before the season if possible. Get himself in real shape. But his scoring ability is undeniable. His defense, from what I understand, is terrible, but I think half of that has to do with him not being in shape. You know what I mean? And if you're an unathletic dude, you got to get in shape. So he's a bit on the chubby side for what you want him to be. And that's probably going to get in the way of Dixon. If he can't adjust his intentions with eating and his workout habits increasing and really digging in and take care of his body, he ain't gonna make it in the NBA. He'll be a fantastic player overseas. He gonna play ball. The question is he gonna be an NBA guy or not? And a lot of that has to be based on what type of shape he can get in and how effective he can be on the defensive end. So I like what I saw from Dixon though. I got more homework to do on him. I didn't watch nearly as many highlights on him as I did Marciulionis. But obviously he's already heralded in college. I think what people are concerned about is, like other guys that we picked up, they're used to having the ball in their hands. Just about everybody we picked up is used to having the ball in their hands. And when you're in this situation, Luka and Bron are going to have the ball in their hands. Austin got the ball in their hands. It kind of becomes a situation where I don't know how many of these guys really play great off the ball. But when it's time to bring in a new bench unit, when it's time to sit Bron and Luka down, our bench is going to be significantly more capable just off of the strength of some of these guys and what they bring to the table. I love what they did in the undrafted market, honestly. Based on what I've seen, there's another guard that we picked up from North Carolina. He looks promising, even though he's only 6 feet tall. He seems to be a good defender at 6 feet. So he's likely somebody who's going to be a pest out there. When you look at guys like TJ McConnell and Jose Alvarado and Davion Mitchell, you start thinking that there's still a place for guys like that to a degree. And he's such a fantastic shooter. He's also a heralded scorer. I wish I remember what his name was, but he looked very promising to me out of North Carolina. So I like what I saw from him. I can't wait to see him in the summer league. And then there was another guy that they picked up, Kalua, I think his name was something like that. Something, I don't know. But he was supposed to, going into this season, be a guy that maybe was even a first-round guy and just didn't have a great college year. But he's a rebounder, another 4-year guy whose numbers have increased every single season over the course of 4 years, even though he was in different situations each year. So a guy who's able to leave different situations and still manage to increase his production is rather impressive. When you talk about no stability, asked to do different roles, but still manage to increase your numbers each and every year. And an excellent defender and somebody who can guard multiple positions with good length and good size. The Kalua guy looks very promising. I haven't seen any highlights on him, but I read up the bio, and what was read there was good. So I think the Lakers, man, if we can turn all of these guys into something, and granted, we have a great, fantastic track record right now of guys that we found in the second round and into the first and undrafted market. We're about as good as any team in the league over the last 7 years in that way. I think this is yet another year where you can say you feel great about what it is the Lakers did in that way. In fact, I feel a lot better about this year's batch of undrafted dudes than I did last year. I think we kind of fell flat last year with some of our guys. We cut bait with some of them before they got a chance to show what they could do. This wasn't a great year last year for that. But based on the homework I'm doing on the guys that we brought in this year, I think we bounced back strong and got a very good crop of players in the undrafted market. Very good crop. So there's a lot more homework to do, man. I still got to do so much more homework on these guys. And there's some other names as well that they just picked up. Basically for the Summer League team, I don't think we're going to have roster spots for most of these people. But I think our scouts are still shining. That's what it really comes down to. Our scouts are still shining. And given the fact that we have, and with all due respect to pros who are all better at basketball than me, so much trash on our bench right now, I want to see some of these guys make it and be a part of our bench unit, because I think that the intangibles that all of these players bring, I feel great about if they make it, if they're able to build themselves up to being their best selves, being a part of a very good bench unit in the future for the Lakers. Maybe not the first year, maybe even not the second year, but if we can keep some of these dudes around and develop them the way that they're supposed to go, you feel great about having Marshallonis 3 years from now. You feel great about having Dixon 3 years from now. You feel fantastic about a Thero 5 years from now, 4 years from now. So that's really what it comes down to. I think our scouts are still continuing to shine, and I still have so much more homework to do. BDL 44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.